this is something that has got to change going forward in this new state of society that we are currently living in. So now on mainstream TV, and on the
That
internet,
place is...
if free speech, obviously rightfully so, allows for open dialogue and debate, and also the ability for potentially propagandistic and potentially disinformation shows are going to be allowed on, like, mainly my thing is like mainstream TV. Considering the fact that politics in the modern day, since I've been following politics since 2025, there's a high risk of psychological manipulation and psychological abuse, of controlling people's opinions and ideas, and potentially enabling like negative behavior, whether it's of women or other people, right? So if there's a risk of modern day political channels featuring propaganda, then there has to be something agreed upon with the politicians in the UK and with in America eventually, that all political parties have to basically agree on teaching critical thinking and media literacy in schools, and also doing a campaign to try and teach critical thinking and media literacy training at home. And there needs to be a cultural shift as well when it comes to teaching people psychological things to improve people's mental health, like emotional control and resiliency training. So if these shows are going to be allowed on mainstream TV, these are changes in society that we have to make. We have no choice. We cannot have potential psychological manipulation being on mainstream TV, potentially causing harm to, not only children, but also teenagers and fully grown adults, because everybody is vulnerable to psychological manipulation and propaganda and disinformation online. So, we have to do something as a society to prepare society for potential psychological manipulation of these shows, whether they're left-wing shows or whether they're right-wing shows, because all political channels now, have the potential for psychological manipulation. So we have to take precautions. I can only think of one of like having like the government and the political parties agree on having media literacy and critical thinking skills and emotional control and resiliency training in schools. I don't know what else there could be. I believe, because I believe in progressive conservatism, I believe, and it's a part of the original conservative values of personal responsibility. When it comes to utilising your free speech, you have to be respectful and you have to have ethics. It's a social construct. It's a social construct that we all agree on when we exercise our free speech. So I'm trying to think of what other things need to be done. The video is going to continue, but if you got this far, please like and subscribe, and hype if you can. So what else? So right then, that's part one done. End of first part. Right, second part. What else can be done? Potentially opening avenues for civilians to sue political commentators, whether they're left or right, if they feel as if they've been wronged or if they feel either them or their family have been victim of psychological and political manipulation. There should be avenues to sue the political commentators or the political networks or the internet channels. Because, like I said, psychological manipulation can't just go on mainstream TV and normalize on the internet on the mainstream. And for there not to be precautions in society. There has to be precautions. Labour needs to sign on to this. Green Party, Reform, Restore, they all need to sign on to this, and they make sure they need to make sure that this changes in society, because we can't afford our children falling for, being psychologically manipulated, and we can't stand for vulnerable adults as well. And from what I've seen is I think it's even more, people are even more at risk when they're adults. Anyway, so there has to be something changing, because we have to, like the left believe in ethics. Actual proper conservatives, they believe in ethics. They believe in personal responsibility, and even when it comes to protecting the children, we should all be supporting something to protect our psyche in the modern day, because in order to prevent government authoritarian and overreach, you need civilians doing justice, and there needs to be avenues to allow them to do so. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope you care about people's mental health and psychology as much as I do. I hope you care about improving society as much as I do, because not only would teaching critical thinking and media literacy training, not only would it help to protect them from an emotional control and resiliency training, not only would it help them from propaganda and disinformation, it would ultimately be good for everybody's mental health. If you want to get people into work, you want to get people to be productive members of society, you want people to give to charity, you've got to improve people's mental health. And it's something that we need progressives and conservatives to come together on to solve the mental health crisis, which we're not doing enough. Like, I've done a video recently in the last week from this video about how psychologists aren't doing something specific. They're not educating the parents of people that have been diagnosed. But anyway, that's the video. Stay tuned for more amazing philosophy, for more progressive conservative politics. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe. Like the video. Thank you very much, and that's the video.